All right, let's dive in. Today we're tackling something pretty intriguing. The entrepreneur mindset. That almost mythical quality that seems to set successful founders apart.
It does feel almost mythical, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
So we've got 3 articles, each taking a slightly different angle.
Oh, cool.
One's from Mo, giving practical advice straight from a business hub.
Okay.
Another's from System Marketing, and it really digs deep into those specific mental habits you need.
Interesting.
And the last one is from Band of Brothers, and they highlight that constant evolution that entrepreneurs seem to always be going through.
Right.
So by the end of this deep dive, you'll not only understand what this mindset actually is, but you'll also walk away with, hopefully, some useful takeaways, whether you're thinking of launching your own thing or just want to approach your goals a bit differently.
Yeah, love that.
So what really fascinates me is that this mindset isn't something you're just born with.
It's not.
It seems like it could actually be cultivated.
Yeah, that's what's so interesting to me about this whole topic. It's less about some inherent talent and more about how do you view challenges? How do you frame those goals you're going after? It's almost like a set of mental tools.
Like a toolkit.
Yeah, a toolkit that you can build up over time.
So it's not just about having that, can-do attitude.
No.
There's more to it than that.
Definitely.
Okay.
The articles, I noticed they use these cool terms.
Like what?
Like état d'esprit, mentalité. Yeah, it adds this layer of intentionality,
I like that.
It's not just about positive thinking, it's deliberate choices in how you approach things.
I see.
For example, Mo, they really emphasize
not
getting bogged down in perfecting tiny details
Yeah.
before you've even tested your idea in the real world.
That makes sense.
They give this example of obsessing over your logo
Right.
before you've even gotten your first customer.
Oh, yeah.
Classic trap, for new entrepreneurs especially.
So action over perfection.
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense. You don't really know what works until you try it.
Right.
But with all this action,
Yeah.
you need some direction.
Of course.
And that's where that vision piece comes in,
Absolutely.
which all 3 articles actually emphasize.
Yeah, they do.
Band of Brothers, I thought they put it really well.
What did they say?
They said your vision's kind of like your North Star,
Oh, nice.
especially in this world of entrepreneurship where everything's changing all the time.
Right.
It's what helps you make those tough calls.
Yeah. Interesting.
When there are 10 different paths you could take.
Oh, I see.
And then System Marketing, they link vision to motivation.
Okay.
That, genuine drive to solve a problem or see your idea actually come to life.
Right. So that's what keeps you going.
Yeah. So you've got the vision guiding your actions.
Yeah.
But then what about when, you inevitably hit those roadblocks?
Oh, yeah.
All 3 articles talk about resilience. But I want to understand, how does it go beyond just bouncing back?
It's interesting.
Because everyone says, oh, you got to be resilient. But what does that actually mean?
Here's where it gets interesting, I think.
Okay.
They tie resilience to that growth mindset.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that.
Which is, briefly mentioned in one of the sources.
Okay.
And it's that belief that your abilities aren't fixed. You can develop them through effort and through learning from your experiences.
I like that.
Mo actually had a great example of this.
Oh, what was it?
They talked about this entrepreneur
Okay.
who faced all these rejections from investors.
Oh, so common.
But they kept refining their pitch, learning from each no, until finally they secured funding.
Wow, persistent.
Persistence, yeah.
So it's about turning those, what we might see as failures, into these, data points.
Exactly.
Learning from each setback instead of just, letting it crush you.
Right. It's a whole different way of looking at it.
Yeah. That's a powerful shift, I think.
Yeah, it is.
But then System Marketing takes a slightly different approach.
Good. What's up?
They say entrepreneurs, they need to take 100% responsibility, which sounds kind of intense.
Yeah. How does that actually work,
Right, in practice.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
It's about recognizing that even when things feel totally outside your control, there's always something you can control.
Like what?
Your reaction, your next step,
Right.
So let's say a deal falls through.
Right.
That was crucial for your business.
Yeah.
Instead of dwelling on what went wrong or blaming, external factors, you ask, okay, what did I miss? What could I have done differently? What's my next move?
Interesting.
It's empowering because it shifts that focus, from
Proceed.
being a victim of circumstance to actually being the architect of your own destiny, even when things go wrong.
That reframing is key, isn't it?
You think so?
And it ties into another mental habit from system marketing,
Okay, what's that?
embracing criticism,
Oh.
which I'll admit is terrifying for a lot of people.
For a lot of people, yeah, for sure.
To just put yourself out there,
It is tough.
especially as an entrepreneur.
Yeah, especially when you're putting your ideas out there for everyone to judge.
Yeah.
But they made this really interesting point in the article.
What was that?
They talked about how fear of judgment
Okay.
holds so many people back.
Makes sense.
They even had this line, free yourself from the gaze of others, accept being judged. It's taking away a break that will allow you to move forward much faster.
Powerful stuff.
Now, there's a nuance here, of course.
Right.
It's not about accepting all criticism,
Blindly.
right, blindly.
Yeah.
It's about discerning what's actually useful,
So being selective with that feedback you take on board,
Exactly.
which maybe, is that where the clear vision comes in handy again?
Yeah, I think so.
Knowing what aligns with your goals and what's just, noise.
Yeah, right.
And maybe this is where that continuous learning comes in that Band of Brothers talks about.
The always evolving your approach.
Right.
Yeah.
But how is that different from just like keeping up with the times?
It's a good question.
Yeah.
Band of Brothers actually made this really cool point.
What was it?
They said, entrepreneurship, it's more like navigating a winding river than following a set path.
I like that.
You can't control the current,
Right.
but you can steer your boat.
Oh, that's good.
And they said, successful entrepreneurs are generally passionate about what they do. This passion is what drives them to continue working hard even when they are faced with challenges or failure. That adaptability, that constant learning, it's what keeps you afloat when you hit those inevitable rapids,
So it's not just knowing the trends, it's being able to shift gears,
Yeah,
applying that knowledge.
to new problems as they pop up.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that passion they were talking about, is that what fuels all that learning?
It plays a huge role.
Okay.
Passion, it's more than just excitement.
Uh-huh.
It's what keeps you going when things get tough.
Right.
When you face those setbacks and you have that self-doubt creeping in.
Yeah, yeah.
Mo talked about how passion,
Okay.
it helps entrepreneurs maintain that long-term perspective, that clear path.
Amidst all the chaos.
Yeah, amidst all the chaos of actually building a business.
So it's the fuel for the whole journey.
It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But passion alone isn't enough, right?
You need some more concrete tools.
Yeah, like what are some of those tools?
One technique that comes up in a few of the articles is the power of positive self-talk.
Oh, interesting.
It's not just about being optimistic, It's about consciously choosing those thoughts, those positive ones, and replacing those negative, self-defeating thoughts with more empowering ones.
So catching yourself when you start to spiral
Exactly.
into those, I can't do this.
Yeah, and then reframing them.
Right.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's about being your own cheerleader,
Because sometimes you're the only one.
Sometimes you are, exactly.
Yeah.
Especially when you're the one driving that vision.
Right.
And speaking of vision, let's talk about how you actually turn those big aspirations into reality.
All right, how do we do that?
One practical tip that Mo gave was setting SMART goals.
SMART goals, yes. I've heard of those, but remind me what that stands for.
Okay, so SMART goals are specific.
Okay.
So that means they're clearly defined.
No room for ambiguity.
Exactly. Then you've got measurable.
Okay.
So that means they're quantifiable. You can actually track your progress.
I see.
Then attainable.
All right.
So that means they're realistic given your current resources.
Okay.
You're not aiming for something completely out of reach.
Right, right.
Then relevant, meaning they align with your overall vision and goals.
It's all connected.
Exactly. And finally, time-bound.
Okay.
So you set a specific deadline to create that accountability, that sense of urgency.
Yes.
I like that framework.
It's a good one.
It takes away that feeling of being overwhelmed.
Yeah.
You're not tackling this massive goal all at once.
Right.
It's smaller, more achievable chunks.
Absolutely. And it ties back to that action-oriented approach we talked about earlier.
Right. Instead of getting stuck in analysis paralysis.
Yeah, you're taking those concrete steps,
You're doing it.
however small, towards that goal.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
But even with the best mindset and those perfectly crafted, SMART goals, entrepreneurship can be a pretty lonely journey.
It can be, yeah.
Is that where the whole building a network thing comes in?
That's exactly what Band of Brothers stresses.
Okay.
Building a strong entrepreneurial network.
So that means mentors, collaborators, advisors,
Yes.
those people who can offer guidance, support, and even just a listening ear when you need to vent.
Sometimes just having someone to celebrate those wins with
Yeah, celebrate those small wins.
can be that boost you need to keep going.
Yeah, that's great. So we've covered so much ground already.
I know, right?
And it's clear this entrepreneur mindset, it's more than just a buzzword.
It's way more than that.
It's this combination of mental habits,
Strategies.
even a bit of philosophy, all kind of intertwined.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
And while we've been focused on, entrepreneurship,
Yeah.
I think there's something here for anyone who wants to be, more proactive, more resilient.
More effective in reaching their goals.
Exactly, whatever those goals may be.
Absolutely.
So in the next part of our deep dive, we're going to explore how these concepts can actually be applied beyond just the startup world
Okay, sounds good.
and into any area of life. So stay tuned.
I'm excited for that. One thing that's really striking me as we delve into these articles is how they highlight the importance of vision, but they all approach it from slightly different angles, which I find fascinating.
It's true. Each article brings its own flavor to this concept. Mo, for instance, talks about vision as a roadmap.
Right, knowing where you're going and then mapping out the steps to get there.
And they don't just mean some grand overarching life vision.
Right.
They apply it to any goal, even something as simple as finally learning that new skill you've been putting off, like coding or playing an instrument.
Yeah, they gave that example, didn't they? Using this mindset to tackle those personal projects.
Exactly. So it's about applying that entrepreneurial thinking to any area of your life where you want to see progress.
Makes sense. Then you have Band of Brothers, and they took this broader perspective.
Oh, yeah, they emphasized how crucial vision is when the inevitable challenges pop up.
Which, let's face it, they always do.
They do. Life throws curveballs, right?
Yeah.
And having that clear vision, that guiding principle, helps you navigate those unexpected twists and turns.
It's like having an inner compass.
Exactly. And it's so relevant for everyone, not just those launching businesses. The world's changing faster than ever, and having that inner compass can be incredibly grounding.
Absolutely. And then there's system marketing, and I love how they tied vision directly to action.
Oh, they had that fantastic line about not obsessing over your logo before you've even gotten your first customer.
Yes, it's a classic mistake, especially for new entrepreneurs. They get so caught up in the aesthetics and making things perfect that they forget about the core of their business, serving those customers.
It's so relatable. I think we've all fallen into that trap of perfectionism at some point, delaying action because things aren't just right.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
But this mindset encourages us to just start, to take that first step, even if it's messy.
Imperfect action over perfect inaction every time.
Couldn't agree more. And speaking of action, we have to talk about resilience. All three articles really stressed how important it is to be able to bounce back from those setbacks, those inevitable bumps in the road.
Mo even shared a specific example, talking about an entrepreneur who faced rejection after rejection from investors before finally securing funding.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
And it wasn't just about persistence, but about learning from refining their approach and coming back stronger.
They really emphasize that idea of viewing failures as data points. Each setback offers valuable information. It's not just about getting knocked down. It's about getting up smarter, using that experience to improve your strategy.
I love that. It's not about avoiding failure. It's about making it work for you.
Exactly. And system marketing took a slightly different approach, emphasizing taking 100% responsibility for your outcomes.
I remember thinking, wow, that sounds intense.
It does sound a bit harsh at first, but when you dig deeper, it's actually quite empowering.
It's about focusing on what you can control, even when things feel completely out of your hands.
It's that shift from feeling like a victim to becoming the architect of your own destiny.
And that ties into another mental habit they highlighted, embracing criticism, which, let's be honest, isn't always easy.
No, it's definitely tough, especially when we're putting our work or ideas out there for the world to judge.
It can feel so vulnerable.
It is. But system marketing made a great point about how that fear of judgment can be paralyzing. I love that line they had. Free yourself from the gaze of others. Except being judged, it's taking away a brake that will allow you to move forward much faster.
That's so powerful. It's about releasing that need for external validation and trusting your own instincts.
Right. And remembering that not all criticism is created equal.
Exactly. There's a difference between constructive feedback that can help you grow and negativity that just drags you down.
It's about learning to discern which feedback is valuable and which is just noise.
And maybe that's where continuous learning comes in, that constant evolution that Band of Brothers talked about. It's not just about staying informed, it's about having the mental flexibility to adapt and apply that knowledge in new and creative ways.
They actually compared entrepreneurship to navigating a winding river.
Oh yeah, that was a great analogy.
You can't control the current, but you can learn to steer your boat.
It's a beautiful image adapting to the ever-changing flow of life.
Exactly. And it highlights that learning isn't passive. It's about actively applying that knowledge, making those course corrections as you go.
So we've got vision guiding our actions, resilience to help us navigate those setbacks, and continuous learning to keep us adaptable. But what about that inner drive, that fire in the belly that fuels it all? All three articles talked about passion, but how does that go beyond just enthusiasm or excitement?
That's a great question. I think passion, true passion, is what sustains you when the initial thrill fades. It's what helps you push through those inevitable doubts and challenges.
Mo talked about how passion helps entrepreneurs maintain that long-term perspective.
Right, that commitment to their vision, even when the day-to-day gets messy and chaotic.
It's what keeps you going when things get tough.
And system marketing linked passion to courage. They had that great line about how to be an entrepreneur. You have to accept failure, accept fear, take courage in both hands, and take action.
It's about having the courage to pursue your dreams, even when it feels scary.
Exactly. And Band of Brothers talked about how passion often comes from a sense of purpose, a desire to make a positive impact on the world.
That belief that what you're doing matters, that it has the potential to make a difference.
And that belief can be incredibly powerful, especially when you hit those inevitable roadblocks. It's what fuels your resilience, your determination.
It's what keeps you going, even when you feel like giving up.
You know, it's interesting to think about how all these elements of the entrepreneur mindset, the vision, the resilience, the learning, the passion, how they all work together, how they support and reinforce each other.
It's like a beautifully woven tapestry where each thread contributes to the strength and beauty of the whole.
And while we've been focusing on how these qualities benefit entrepreneurs, I think they're essential for anyone who wants to live a more fulfilling, impactful life. It's about taking ownership of your journey, embracing challenges, and never stopping growing.
Absolutely. And in the next part of our deep dive, we'll explore some practical techniques that our listeners can use to cultivate these qualities in their own lives. Stay tuned. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground, explored the mindset, the theories.
Yeah, a lot of fascinating stuff.
But now, let's get down to the nitty-gritty.
The practical stuff.
Yeah, what can our listener actually do?
Right.
To start cultivating this entrepreneur mindset for themselves, like today?
Well, one technique that really stood out to me, and it comes up in all three articles, is the power of positive self-talk.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that, but...
It's about becoming aware of those kind of like those negative thoughts that can creep in.
The self-doubt.
Yes. The "I can't do this" whispers. And consciously replacing them with more empowering ones.
Like being your own cheerleader, right?
Exactly. Giving yourself those pep talks when you're feeling discouraged or like you're hitting a wall.
Okay, but isn't there a danger of, I don't know, becoming delusional?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like ignoring real problems?
It's not about denying reality.
Okay. Or pretending everything's perfect. System marketing actually addresses this head on.
What do they say?
They say, to be an entrepreneur, you have to accept failure, accept fear, take courage in both hands, and take action.
That's powerful.
It's about acknowledging the challenges.
Okay.
But choosing to approach them with a more empowered mindset, a can-do attitude.
So not ignoring the negative, but shifting your focus to what you can control, your attitude, your actions.
Exactly.
I like that.
Yeah.
But sometimes, even with the best mindset in the world, you need a little help.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, external support.
Yes.
And all three articles, they really stress this, building a strong network.
They do.
But where do you even start?
That's a great question.
With that.
Band of Brothers, they made a good point.
Okay.
It's not just about, like, collecting a ton of contacts.
Right.
It's about surrounding yourself with people who actually challenge you.
Who push you.
Who inspire you to grow. They even said iron sharpens iron.
Oh, I like that. Emphasizing that growth comes from those people who push you to be your best.
So it's about quality over quantity, not just having a massive network.
Right. A network that actually benefits you, supports you.
Okay, so let's say you've got those amazing people in your corner.
Yeah.
You're practicing positive self-talk. You're setting those smart goals. But then you face a setback.
Which will happen.
It will happen, inevitably.
Yes.
How do you deal with that?
This is where resilience comes in.
Okay.
And remember, resilience isn't just about, like, gritting your teeth and pushing through.
Right. It's more than that.
It's about learning from those setbacks,
Hmm.
turning those so-called failures into valuable data points.
Oh, I like that.
Mo had that great example,
I remember that one.
the entrepreneur with all the rejections.
Yeah.
But they used each no as an opportunity to get better, to refine their pitch, to figure out what worked.
So it's not about avoiding failure.
It's about using it to your advantage.
Yeah, seeing those setbacks as part of the process.
Stepping stones. Exactly. And remember, you don't have to go it alone. That's where mentors can be incredibly helpful.
Yeah, they can guide you.
Mo even suggested studying successful people in your field.
Oh, yeah, to see how they handled things.
Their journeys, their challenges. It's like having a roadmap.
A blueprint for success.
Yeah.
That's so valuable, especially when you're feeling lost or unsure of yourself.
Absolutely.
But even with all the tools and the mentors and the mindset, that initial excitement, it can fade.
Oh, it definitely.
Doubts can creep in.
Yeah.
You might even start to question, is this even worth it?
That's a tough spot to be in.
It is. So what do you do when that happens?
This is when you really tap into that deeper well of passion, that connection to your purpose, to the impact you want to make. Remember what system marketing said?
About courage.
Yeah, take courage in both hands and take action.
So it's about remembering why you started on this journey in the first place.
Exactly.
Reconnecting with that fire.
That drive. And sometimes, honestly, it's just about taking that next step.
Even a small one.
Even a tiny one, because action creates momentum.
And momentum can lead to more motivation.
Exactly.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the entrepreneur mindset,
Yeah.
it's clear that this is about so much more than just starting a business.
It really is.
It's about cultivating a way of thinking.
A set of tools, an approach to life.
That can benefit anyone in any field.
Absolutely.
It's about embracing those challenges, seeing failures as opportunities to learn.
And never stopping that growth and evolution.
It's about finding that spark within yourself.
That drive to create, to contribute.
To make a positive impact on the world.
Yeah, I love that.
And who knows, maybe by cultivating this mindset,
Yeah.
you'll discover your own inner entrepreneur,
You might surprise yourself.
ready to bring your unique vision to life.
I love that.
Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive, everyone.
It's been a pleasure.
We hope you found these insights valuable.
I hope so.
Remember, the world needs your unique talents and perspectives.
It does.
So go out there, embrace the challenge,
Then make your mark.
and make your mark. We'll see you next time.